We do have another email question coming up, guys, you put on screen. I'm 19. Me and some friends got some beer and went to a warehouse under construction. Cops showed up and we all got arrested. I was charged with criminal trespass and alcohol consumption by a minor, and I've never been arrested. Could I be looking at jail as punishment? Please no. My court date is April 17th, Turner.
Okay.
Rusty, you've never seen that fact pattern before, right?
No. All right. So, first of all, it depends on, because if it's an active construction site, that it can actually elevate the degree of the offense. But it sounds like maybe they did misdemeanors.
Now, why is that? Why is that?
And I think it's because there's tools there and potentially building materials, so they're trying to keep, a lot of people, it sounds like it was really kind of a trespass here, right? Okay. They're basically going in there and to hang out. But I don't know that jail is necessarily in the forecast. That said, it really does depend upon the prosecutor. The prosecutor holds a great deal of power. Chris, and it may be different in criminal court than it is in civil to an extent. In criminal court, and certainly, the judges are very extremely powerful, but we don't get to plea negotiate with the judges. The judges don't determine what the charge should be. Right. That's really the state attorney's job. So, I don't know if it's a preliminary court date. I think that, there probably are going to be a number of options presented to you, or there should be. So work with your attorney on that one, especially if it's a first offense. They'll usually try to make it so that it doesn't mess you up going forward.
Now, one thing we do need to point out, unlike civil law, where you just kind of fight for yourself, and that's why you have firms like myself who help people and take cases on a contingency and do it in such a way that people don't have to pay us up front until we resolve their case. In criminal law, you are guaranteed to have one of two things: a public defender or a private attorney if you can pay for it, right?
Correct.
And so your rights are very important. And so if you're going to pay your attorney, or if you're going to have one that's paid for you by the state through the public defender's office, please understand, they're lawyers. They know what they're doing. Please listen to them. Take their guidance. Take their wisdom.
So, and here's the thing, with regards to public defenders, of course, those are for folks who don't necessarily have the means to hire a lawyer, and judges will determine whether you're eligible or not. But this is the reality. Some of the best, and you know this, some of the best attorneys, some of the best defense attorneys in the 14th Judicial Circuit, so Bay, Washington, Holmes, Jackson, Calhoun, and Gulf, some of them are public defenders. That's the reality. So there are some fantastic. Now, not every public defender, though, just like anything else, is a good attorney.
But also some of the ones that are in private practice now used to be with public defender or state attorney.
Some great attorneys.
But the big thing is if you have an attorney that's appointed, or you've hired somebody to represent you, please make sure that you take their guidance and their wisdom, because they're going to tell you exactly how this process is going to happen. And someone like the young man that just emailed us in, he's 19, he's nervous, he made a mistake. Thankfully, we have a good state attorney here in town that sees those mistakes, and we have good judges too when they impose any type of sentence on open pleas. They've had kids themselves, or they've done something stupid in the past themselves, and they understand what it's been like to kind of make a mistake, right?
You would hope so. Right.
Yeah.
So, one of the things being a defense attorney is an interesting thing, because a lot of times people will say, well, how can you represent this person? You're trying to get them off, and they did it. It's on video. And a lot of what we do is mitigation, right? Is talking about, hey, listen, this is kind of what happened. This is the backstory about what was going on. This is who this person is. This is all the good work that they've done. Can't we figure out a better resolution than this, than putting them underneath the jail? Right. So, a lot of what we do is certainly, we're, this, Chris, we're an aggressive criminal defense firm. We do not shy away from trying cases we don't. Right. But what comes with that is leaving no stone unturned. And so, when you do that, inevitably you find things that you can go back to the prosecutor with and talk about why the case isn't quite maybe as strong as they'd like, and the mitigating factors of who your client is.
And there's respect on both sides. And when you come to something, and we've always been taught as young attorneys getting out of school, never lie, never lie, never lie.
It's your reputation.
And it's your reputation. Yeah. And so when you have a great lawyer representing you and a good firm behind you, those judges pay attention, and either whether it's insurance companies or whether it's the state attorney, they pay attention as well.